High John the Conqueror came to be a man, and a mighty man at that. But he was not a natural man in the beginning. First off, he was a whisper, a will to hope, a wish to find something worthy of laughter and song. Then the whisper put on flesh. His footsteps sounded across the world in a low but musical rhythm, as if the world he walked on was a singing drum. Black people had an irresistible impulse to laugh. High John the Conqueror was a man in full, and had come to live and work on the plantations, and all the slave folks knew him in the flesh. The sign of this man was a laugh, and his singing symbol was a drum beat. No parading drum shout like soldiers out for show. It did not call to the feet of those who were fixed to hear it. It was an inside thing to live by. It was sure to be heard when and where the work was the hardest and the lot most cruel. It helped the slaves endure. They knew that something better was coming, so they laughed in the face of things and sang, "I'm so glad, trouble don't last always." And the white people who heard them were struck dumb that they could laugh. In an outside way, this was old Massa's fun. So what was old Cuffy laughing for? Old Massa couldn't know, of course, but High John the Conqueror was there, walking his plantation like a natural man. He was treading the sweat-flavored clods of the plantation, crushing out his drum tunes and giving out secret laughter. He walked on the winds and moved fast. Maybe he was in Texas when the lash fell on a slave in Alabama, but before the blood was dry on the back, he was there. A faint pulsing of a drum, like a goatskin stretched over a heart that came nearer and closer. Then somebody in the saddened quarters would feel like laughing and say, "Now High John the Conqueror, old Massa couldn't get the best of him. That old John was a case." Then everybody sat up and began to smile. Yes, that was right. Old John, High John, could beat the unbeatable. He was top superior to the whole mess of sorrow. He could beat it all, and what made it so cool, finish it off with a laugh. So they pulled the covers up over their souls and kept them from all hurt, harm, and danger, and made them a laugh and a song. Nighttime was a joke, because daybreak was on the way. Distance and the impossible had no power over High John the Conqueror. Moreover, John knew that it is written where it cannot be erased, that nothing shall live on human flesh and prosper. Old Maker said that before he made any more sayings. Even a man-eating tiger and lion can teach a person that much. His flabby muscles and mangy hide can teach an emperor right from wrong, if the emperor would only listen. He had come from Africa. He came walking on the waves of sound. Then he took on flesh after he got here. The sea captains of ships knew that they brought slaves in their ships. They knew about those black bodies huddled down there in the middle passage, being hauled across the waters to helplessness. John the Conqueror was walking the very winds that filled the sails of the ships. He followed over them like the albatross. It is no accident that High John the Conqueror has evaded the ears of white people. They were not supposed to know. You can't know what folks won't tell you. If they, the white people, heard some scraps, they could not understand because they had nothing to hear things like that with. They were not looking for any hope in those days, and it was not much of a strain for them to find something to laugh over. Old John would have been out of place for them. Old Massa met our hope-bringer all right, but when old Massa met him, he was not going by his right name. He was traveling and touristing around the plantations as the laugh-provoking Br'er Rabbit. So old Massa and old Miss and their young ones laughed with and at Br'er Rabbit and wished him well. And all the time there was High John the Conqueror playing his tricks of making a way out of no way, hitting a straight lick with a crooked stick, winning the jackpot with no other stake but a laugh, fighting a mighty battle without outside showing force, and winning his war from within. Really winning in a permanent way, for he was winning with the soul of the black man whole and free, so he could use it afterwards. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You would have nothing but a cruel, vengeful, grasping monster to come to power. High John the Conqueror was a bottom fish. He was deep. He had the wisdom tooth of the East in his head. Way over there, where the sun rises a day ahead of time, they say that heaven arms with love and laughter those it does not wish to see destroyed. He who carries his heart and his sword must perish. So says the ultimate law. High John the Conqueror knew a lot of things like that. He who wins from within is the B class. Be here when the ruthless man comes, and be here when he is gone. Moreover, John knew that it is written where it cannot be erased, that nothing shall live on human flesh and prosper. Old Maker said that before he made any more sayings. Even a man-eating tiger and lion can teach a person that much. His flabby muscles and mangy hide can teach an emperor right from wrong, if the emperor would only listen. There is no established picture of what sort of looking man this John the Conqueror was. To some, he was a big, physical-looking man like John Henry. To others, he was a little hammered-down, low-built man like the devil's doll baby. Some said that they never heard what he looked like. Nobody told them. But he lived on the plantation where their old folks were slaves. He is not so well known to the present generation of colored people in the same way that he was in slavery time. Like King Arthur of England, he has served his people and gone back into mystery again. And like King Arthur, he is not dead. He waits to return when his people shall call again. Symbolic of English power, Arthur came out of the water and with Excalibur went back into the water again. High John the Conqueror went back to Africa, but he left his power here and placed his American dwelling in the root of a certain plant. Possess that root, and he can be summoned at any time.